Now, why would we talk about ourselves when we're in a business of serving and helping other people? By the way, show of hands, you're still in it to double your income and double your net worth. You'd like to make more money this year? Excellent. So we do know that we got to help other people in order to help ourselves. The 52 weeks to wealth are designed to double your income, double your net worth over a year. So 52 wealth principles tied into one principle at a time. Every business at every level needs and uses these principles themselves. I've spoken to Vinny Chopra. He has $1.6 billion of real estate under management, and he applies every one of these principles. In fact, he's told me many times, every week that we review this principle on Thursday, he's going into his business and he's applying it. Sometimes he's applied it in advance. Sometimes he's going afterwards and applying it. Show of hands, if you understand, doesn't matter what level you are, you're still going to face the same devils. They just get to a different level of strength. Your business looks different. And so you have to adjust your approach and your pitch. So this principle, know thyself, changes every single year. In fact, I was on a call with my brother this morning, who will be speaking at the 100 Millionaire Summit, who, by the way, show of hands, would like to meet my brother, my little brother, and hear about his business and how he made $1 million and how he grew his portfolio and how it came. Excellent. So he will be there. He also had a revelation for me today. As I was talking to him about his talk at the summit, he shared a story that was very emotional to him, something that he wasn't aware of inside himself that was a physical, actual block stopping him from moving towards success. Has anybody ever known the path and not taken the path? Just knowing what you were supposed to do, knew there was actions to take and weren't taking the right actions. And it kind of messes you up a little bit because you're smarter than that. You know what to do. Who here is a coach or a leader or a mentor, teaches other people these things and still has had blocks? It's like, it's embarrassing, right? You can't talk to your wife about it because you're like, I'm supposed to know this stuff. And you're just going to tell me the things that I tell you. And it's frustrating. You can't talk to your coach about it because your coach is telling you exactly the same stuff you've been hearing. Who here knows the frustration of knowing the answers and not doing the actions? Excellent. So my brother, he reached out to me and he called and we were talking, and he said that he's found this gentleman in his life, in his world, who he provides training for. He provides physical training for because he runs AMP Academy, which is athletic movement and parkour. He teaches this person how to do parkour movements and capoeira. And this person coaches men, actually specifically parents, male parents, fathers and husbands, so that they can be just better in society. By the way, show of hands if that's a good thing to be coaching, helping people be better men and fathers. I think so. Especially with all the influences out there thinking they're doing exactly that, and they're totally not. So there's this now opportunity in his life to receive coaching, and Joshua normally says no to coaching, but in this situation, the gentleman just threw out an opportunity to him, said, Josh, because my brother said, man, like, I know what I'm supposed to do. I just seem to be hitting a plateau in my career, and I just can't seem to get past it every time. I put out all this good, and I'm giving, and then something happens in my company where I'm about to expand, and then something happens. I have to go pay attention to this little fire over here, this big explosion thing that happened right when I was about to expand. I was about to get to that next level. I was going to go do the marketing campaign, and I pushed the stop button on the marketing campaign because I got a fire to put out over here. And I go, when I put out this fire, and then 6 months, 8 months, a year goes by, and then I realized my marketing campaign never got fired off, even though I thought it kind of did because I did all the work. Show of hands if you know what I'm talking about. Familiar with this? Didn't make the calls, you built the list, you did the thing, you got all this stuff, you took the coaching program, you got it all put together, you were ready to go, and then parents die, or divorce, or child gets sick, or insert problems, something in your life happens. So my brother is saying this to this gentleman, and he says, it sounds like you've got a block right here in your heart. And because of the result that Josh was seeking, and the way this man said it with confidence, he said, I'm open to suggestions. And then he called my brother. He's like, let's go. I need to get you with 2 hours against a mountain. I'm going to get you on a mountain for 2 hours. So they went out to this mountain. My brother went 5 o'clock yesterday morning, went out to the mountain, and with 80-pound backpacks, because my brother's not a little baby. So he's going to, if he's going to climb a mountain, he's going to climb the mountain with a small child on his back, just in case, because you never know, right? Show of hands, parents, if you know, you got to be in a situation of strength, just in case. So there they are climbing the mountain. And Josh says afterwards, he said a few things to me. Maybe got a little bit of value. I didn't think anything of it. Until he had a moment in the morning. By the way, this the coach said to him, you should do some meditation. Josh was like, yeah, meditation sounds like a smart thing to do. I'm okay with that. I'll implement that. He does it. I'm not going to give you the full story. I want you to wait until the 100 Millionaire Summit to hear the full story. But in the end, he realized that he wasn't receiving. Somewhere in the moment, he recognized, he started crying. He just had an emotional moment watching himself in the mirror, and he realized he had been pushing himself so hard to help other people, holding himself to an impossible standard, doing so much work to help others and give and give and give and give. And he said that I never looked at the fact that I was starving for just a little bit of something, but I kept giving because that's who I am. It's my nature. Just like, I can't receive. I'm not a receiver. I'm a giver. And he said, I just started crying, realizing I'd given so much, and I just desperately need somebody to come and find me and offer me a little bit of giving, just a little bit. He's like, I don't need much. but he's like, for a moment, I just broke down in so much pain from realizing I had starved myself for so long and that it hurts. Has anybody ever been there? Realize like that you are an absolute giver and just sometimes need to receive a little bit. So this principle will solve some of those problems today. Show of hands if you're okay with solving some of those problems. And my brother's going to go deeper into that talk, especially for parents, because he wrote the book. Can't remember what his book's name is, but it's behind me. And he wrote the book about serving children, how to educate and train children. So if you're grappling with the complexities of your own personality, unsure of who you are or how to harness your strengths for financial success, many of us are, by the way, and the consequences of not knowing yourself can be more significant than you might imagine. First is misguided decisions, things that you commit to that later on energetically are not for you. Show of hands if you've ever done that. Committed to things that you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good for business. And then you get there and you're like, I just don't want to do it. And then you fail, or you forget, or you just don't show up, or you like back out last minute. This is coming from not knowing yourself at an energetic level. They say you got to be passionate about what you're doing. I'm not passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about helping people. So fans, if you understand the difference, I'm passionate about seeing people win. Like Larry says, I'm passionate about seeing people be legends. We do it through real estate. This is our communication. This is our model. We do it through money. I'm not passionate about money. I'm good at money. And I help people get money because money opens people up to the other things that I'm much more passionate about, which is helping others and self-awareness and having a little bit of fun along the way. So fans, if you grasp that it's not all about money, money's just a tool. Money's just a language. It's a communication that we use. In fact, I'll share with you, there are a lot of religions out there, but there's one religion, a global religion that everybody buys into, and that is currency. And I'll tell you it's a religion because everybody who believes in it works hard for it. They'll work 40 hours a week, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And everybody who does not believe in the religion, well, they become leaders of the religion because they have the companies and the businesses that everybody else works for. Has anybody ever seen somebody who owns a company have a lot of employees? Yes, have a lot of power, right? That's because they're religious leaders in a world that worships the dollar. So what do you do in a world that worships the dollar? If there's a new religion starting, which there is, by the way, and that's where we're paying attention to, it's a new religion is currency. If currency was the old religion, if Catholic was the previous religion for centuries, by the way, then the new religion would have to be attention. It would have to be content is the new religion. Attention, where attention goes, energy flows, right? Results show. So you can, with enough attention, get all the dollar bills you want. True or true? And yet, you know yourself. You're not a video creator, right? You're not a content creator. You're not a picture taker. You're not a poster maker. Show of hands if you've been familiar with those moments too. Not being in line with the new religion, not being able to go out and get the currency that everybody else wants. We'll work on that today. Number two, challenges. Reasons why not knowing yourself can cause problems is team building challenges. Constructing a successful team can be a daunting task when you are uncertain about your strengths and how you fit in with others. So fans, if you ever had that problem, hired the same people, hired people who are just like you, so you didn't solve any of your own problems, you just got more of your strengths and more of your problems. So this can be a challenge. If we don't know ourselves and what we're looking to replace, we tend not to hire the right people. Stagnated growth, I think everybody in here is familiar with what stagnated growth looks like. Yes, it sucks. So failing to leverage your natural talents can cause a missed opportunity and a lack of personal financial development. So if you're just focused on doing things that you think everybody else thinks you should do, you never do the things that you're best at. And your best is what's going to make you the most amount of money because you'll do it the most. Who here agrees? You do what you're best at and it feels good. When you do what you're not best at, you feel guilty, you feel loathing for yourself, you feel like slow, you feel just I'm unmotivated. So the goal is to always be constantly doing what you're good at so that you can increase growth. When you know yourself, when you truly know yourself, you're able to spend more time doing what you're good at, which means less stagnation. So the fourth challenge of not knowing thyself is goal misalignment. So your personality heavily influences goal setting. It's no getting around it. Without self-awareness, your goals will not resonate with your true self and you will not go and take action. Who here has ever been unmotivated with a goal that should be a worthy goal? No, I'm going to help 100 people this year. I'm going to help 1,000 people this year. I'm going to go get 1 million followers. I'm going to go and I'm going to buy one property and then I'm going to buy another property and buy another property. We've all set these goals and then we wake up in the morning, not either posting the video, not making the call, not raising the capital, not putting the offer in, whatever the challenge may be. We don't go and do the thing. Who here's guilty of setting goals they didn't take the actions towards getting to? Okay. So we're going to work on knowing thyself. So goal misalignment can cause that challenge. So your personality heavily influences, again, how you resonate in the world. Who here recognizes everything as vibrations of energy? I don't care what level you believe into that. The point is what you put out, you get back. Whatever you are thinking inside, you will receive. So if your goal is something that aligns with all of your energy points, it's a worthy goal for you. Any goal you set could be a worthy goal for somebody else. It's just sometimes the goals we set are not always in alignment, and that takes a little bit more self-awareness in order to get to that level of successful goal setting. Show of fans of getting a goal doesn't mean anything if you get there and you're not happy with it. All right. Who here has done that before? So we're coming from a place of knowledge. All right. So as we grind towards the summit, there are 27 days now. And I made a post the other day. I just said, like, what is your goal for the next 30 days? What is your reasonable goal for the next 30 days? I want it to be something that resonates with you, something that you can achieve and feel good about. This is not, I'm going to buy $1 billion worth of real estate in the next 30 days. Probably not. Probably not. You're probably not going to do that. What you could do in the next 30 days, though, however, would be get your unique selling proposition created. It could be get your Facebook page cleaned up so that when you do meet people, they see who you are, what you're doing. It could be identifying your type of property that when you walk into this event, you're going to tell everybody, this is the type of property I buy. This is the city I buy. And this is my buy box, right? Knowing your buy box. It could be locking down an actual deal. So when you walk into the summit, you're saying, hey, this is the deal I've got. Who do you know who might be interested in investing in this type of deal? It could be preparing yourself, if you're a speaker or a coach or you're a realtor or you're a mortgage broker, to find out, hey, these are the types of deals, the types of clients that I work with. Here's what I'm looking for. Or if you're really looking to scale, I'm looking for affiliates. Or I'm looking for people who run stages. I'm looking for people who run events or podcasts. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Show of hands if you understand. This is how you prepare the next 27 days. Because at the summit, you're going to be surrounded in people who want to see you do well. Another way to prepare would be to invite 3, 4, 5 people and bring a team to the summit so that they can be getting the same transformation you're getting. So when you go back home, your power team is now working for you or working with you versus just you trying to convince everybody what to do because they weren't in the same room getting the same message. Show of hands if you've ever been there before. Trying to convince people to understand what Alchemist Nation is and how we all work together and everybody wins. It's really hard unless they've been in the room. And then if they're in the room, then it's a lot easier for them to be like, oh, I'm down. They're going to say, we should do this. We should do this locally. Show fans if that's a lot easier to work with when it's their idea. Man, we're all from the same place. We all got the same goals. We should all do this together. So that's another challenge or another goal to set is bring 5, 10 people to the summit who are in the business, who you could build with. These are wholesalers. These would be realtors. These could be mortgage brokers. They'd be private money lenders. They could be people who want to be new in real estate and haven't quite figured out where their space is in your team yet. But the idea would be to gather your team and then create that opportunity. Show of hands if this makes sense. It's also part of the mission. It also helps everybody in general. The more people that you bring, the more people that are there, the more other people could also benefit, the more opportunities come to you in general. So it's an interesting dynamic. Now that we've identified the weaknesses, the things that are caused by not having a little knowledge of self, who'd like to dive into knowing thyself a little bit more? Now, obviously at the summit, we're going to go deep into this. At the summit, we've got Doug McGurk, who'll really go deep into being self-aware of who you are, what your goals are. So your goal setting and your goal alignment will be true to who you are. This is just like all the 52 wealth principles. This is prepping you for, we're going to do our wealth principle 52 at the 100 Millionaire Summit. So step 1 is discovering personality tests. Dive into popular assessments like the DISC, the Myers-Briggs, or the 16 personalities, the Enneagram, or the Big 5. to gain profound insights into your unique traits. I'm going to say this again. Well, first, let me say this. These personality tests are not who you are. They are simply how you show up. They are changeable, yes, if you're disgusted by one of them, but my suggestion would be to acknowledge this is probably how you show up. How could I fall in love with this persona and leverage this a little bit better is the energy you'd like to come from. Oh, I like this. Doug says behavioral and filter tendencies and styles. Fantastic. So again, the 4 that I suggest are DISC, Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, and the Big 5 to gain a little bit of awareness into yourself. Also 5 love languages, because that comes huge in business, because all 5 love languages are a part of how people do business with you. There's a saying that we talk about a lot in Alchemist Nation: people who only do business with the people they know, like, and trust. And if you've been on the Recession Proof Challenge, I just convert those 3 things into love. People that they love, or people that they admire, or people that they respect. Show of hands if we understand. You can't love somebody if you don't know, like, and trust them. So people only do business with people that they love. So it's very important. So discover yourself, and that allows you to love others and discover the value that others have as well. One of the benefits of really getting into yourself is that energy comes out. You end up with a much happier state of life. And one of the skill sets that is required to do that is a little bit of self-reflection. Has anybody ever done self-reflection and come out a better person? Like, come out on the other side just faster, better, more aware? My brother, I told you the story about him this morning. He's telling me now he's an unstoppable force for good, because now he knows. And here's one of the warnings that I gave him also, was that energy-wise, when you have been giving everything for so long and you're running on empty, the temptation is to go out and either try to suck an entire person dry, get 100% from an entire person, and that's obviously toxic and dangerous. So the next best thing would be to go and suck 10% from 10 people. And again, that's gonna burn 10 people pretty hard. But the ideal thing is to go out and pull 1% from 100 people. They won't even notice. They won't even notice, and they'll be glad to give, as long as you're giving more value than you're receiving. Show of hands if you understand the concept of spreading it thin, spreading it out a little bit. So if you're in a situation where you've been pulled pretty hard, like, giving, try to spread out the receiving across a whole bunch of people. If you've been giving in the right direction, giving to a lot of people, it should be pretty easy to manage. So number 2, reflect and analyze. Dedicate time to ponder your assessment results. What do they unveil about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your preferred working style? What do they unveil about you? What do they share about you? By the way, every strength and every weakness is an opportunity. Your strengths are something to maintain and push into, and your weaknesses are something to build a list to hire people for. Say that again. The weaknesses are your hire me list. I don't focus on my weaknesses. I just make sure somebody's in place on those spots. Guaranteed to succeed as long as so one of the things I'm not very good at is I can't be everywhere at once. And so with Alchemist Nation, I have leaders in local markets, because I personally can't be in all the different places. Show of hands if you wished you could have a clone of yourself, because you know you're the best at what you do. Yeah, we all feel that way, but we can't clone ourselves. Your weakness is not being able to clone. So a way to solve that is to bring in people who have similar or better talent in the arena that you like. So I'm talking to Indina last night. Dina runs the Orlando group, Orlando Business Real Estate Professionals, and she crushes it. I've been to Orlando. I've spoken to Orlando. It's one of the coolest, most fun events that we have across the country. And Dina loves helping. She's even sold 2 VIP tickets to the 100 Millionaire Summit. Do you know why she sold 2 VIP tickets to the 100 Millionaire Summit so far this year? Because she wants to be a VIP at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. She believes in the product. She believes in the event. She believes in what we're doing. She loves Alchemist Nation. So she makes an amazing leader at that level. Solves one of my weaknesses. I can't be in Orlando all the time, but she can. Show of hands if you understand. Your strengths and your weaknesses are opportunities to bring other people in. So strategic partnerships, this kind of leads right in. Another solution, once you know yourself, one of the things that allows that reflection that you've been doing is you can leverage newfound awareness to the strategic partnerships, partner relationships, individuals whose strengths complement your own, and create some powerful synergies. Just like Larry Steinhaus is going to be teaching subject to at the summit. I've done subject to one time. I've taken over one mortgage in my entire career. It's just, I'll tell you the same story over and over and over about the $77,000 house with the little old lady. But Larry does subject to all the time. And so he's a master at that particular investment strategy. So it makes sense to affiliate and partner up with people who are just significantly better at something. Show of hands for grasping this. It happens in your business, right? If you're a realtor, bring in a mortgage broker. If you're a real estate investor, bring in a wholesaler to find your deals. If you're a real estate investor looking to raise capital, bring in a financial planner who's really good at moving 401ks or really good at moving people's money from one asset class to another asset class. Show of hands for catching this. Understand the value of bringing on the team. Hell yeah. Another value, customize your approach, tailor your business strategies, investments, and decision-making to align with your personality traits, optimizing your chance for success. If you feel like your business is a job, you will probably at some point give up or quit or Irish exit. We don't want that. We want you to stay in the business for a long term, doing something that you enjoy, something that you appreciate. So your strengths will give that to you. One of my strengths, show of hands if you'd like to know what my disc profile is. Anybody interested? Has that ever occurred? You know yours, right? So my disc profile is a DI, or it's an ID. So one of my greatest strengths, actually, DIC. So let me be very clear. There's a lot of C in my profile and almost no S, even though I can come off as a very caring, compassionate person. Show of hands if you understand. I do care deeply. Absolutely. But Darina is where my S comes from. My service attitude, my stability, my caring. So primarily, I am a driver who loves influence, and I'm also super analytical. Who here is glad that I've thought it all out before I come and teach it? It helps. So what that gives you as somebody who's working with us is the ability to know and have confidence that I've thought it all out, I've documented the process, and I've gone to people smarter than me, and also I like influence. So my strength in this community is to go out and create content. Truly, when I put myself in the highest leverage point, it's read stuff and then go say the stuff I've learned. Talk to somebody really smart and go share the story of the smart thing that person told me. In fact, Larry Steinhaus has a story that he's going to be sharing with us at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year from a deal that he found from the 100 Millionaire Summit last year. Show of hands if you're excited to hear about that. It's coming. Stephen Beaver has created more opportunities for himself and other people this year from the work he's done, from the mastery program, from what he's been in, from the time that he met us at the summit to now. Show of hands if you're interested in hearing his story, his journey along the way. Billy Reuter has in the last few months come to decision that he will be out of his job by the end of this year because of the connections and the reconnections and reigniting and the opportunities that he's gained and delivering from helping Alchemist Nation, not just from being a part of, but from delivering and creating and inspiring and working with. Let's give Billy Reuter a round of applause. He'll be on stage this year. So we're going to hear some stories. Darina refuses to be on stage this year. Darina, the Russian princess, absolutely refuses to be on stage. So show of hands if you know I will find a way to get her on stage this year. It'll be absolutely one of my skills is to find a way for it to accidentally happen. If you watched our live feed in Alchemist Nation this week, you'll notice that Darina was speaking with a microphone. That could be how I sneak her on stage. It seems like I can get her to answer questions as long as I sneak her on stage. Show of hands if you understand the strategy has to be tight. It has to be tight. Doug McGurk, I talked about what he'll be teaching. He'll be going deep into helping you find out who you are, knowing thyself. Wealth Principle 48, what we're getting into today, Doug will be delivering at the summit, really helping you get tight on your past, present, and your future so that you can really emotionally connect and make the right decisions throughout the weekend and every day going forward. By the way, it's the 1% of the one, it's 80-20 of 80-20 of 80-20 is 496, 199. So 1% of the year. The 3.5 days we're together at the 100 Millionaire Summit is your 1% of the entire 365 days of the year. Show of hands if you understand 1% can change the game for you. 80-20 of 80-20 of 80-20. That's 1%. So we're going to be working on that. Wealth Principle 52, we're going to be doing together at the summit. That is sharpen the saw. So you got to customize your approach. Number 4 is customize your approach, tailor your business strategies, investments, and decision-making to align with your personality traits, optimizing your chances of success, just like every single one of the speakers I just shared with you. Number 5, embrace continuous growth. Continuous growth. Adapt a mindset of perpetual personal development using the self-awareness as a to set, conquer, and take on ambitious financial challenges, financial goals. Just because the personality assessment says we're a certain way doesn't mean we have to stay that way. The first time I took DISC, I was a high C personality. In fact, the first time Ron, my business partner, took DISC, it was all C, all crazy C, a little bit of I and a little bit of S and no D whatsoever. Now when Ron takes the profile, his D is way up here, his C is way up there. He's fallen more into a state of taking affirmative action, especially if he takes the assessment around this time of the year. For some reason, around the summit, Ron just becomes alpha, like out there solving problems, because I rely on him more. I need more help. And so he takes the charge and he goes out. By the way, let's give my business partner a big round of applause. He's been crushing it for years. And I appreciate all the work that everybody around us does to hold this community together and make things work. Your personality is perfect just the way it is. And you can improve things that you believe would make you a better person, things that you believe would make you sharper. So for Ron, when he was shifting his C over to a D space, he knew he needed confidence, he needed knowledge in an area before he could take tactical, quick, fast decisions like a true D. And so he was a D, it's just his C needed to be served before he could get to that D personality, that decision-making, dominating, quick, decisive personality. So fans, if you all know, Ds make a lot of money. That's clear. Yeah, Ds do, because they make fast decisions. People who are decisive, don't have analysis paralysis, end up making more money. Now, did you know that S's make a lot of money? Who knows S's make a ton of money? You didn't know this? All right, let me share with you. I model S more than any other DISC profiles because I find what I'm serving, what I'm helping others, it creates more opportunity for me to live the life that I want to live, to bring in the capital I'm looking to bring in. So although S may not be my natural state, I find that I have to model S. I have to speak S. I have to live S more often in order to increase my income. Show of hands if you're okay being a little S sometimes. And for our DIs who are like me and Cs, we're holding our breath. It's hard sometimes to slow down, to listen to emotions, to empathize, but it is absolutely necessary to be a decent human being and be good at business. So friends, if you're committed to being better, just being better, yes. All right. So every week we do a principle with a book, and this week is no different. I don't see Mike Shine on here. I don't see Mitch Jaworski on here. So both of those coaches will be speaking at this year's 100 Millionaires Summit. Unfortunately, they are not present. So we get to go into the book of the week, which somebody else will be doing. Show hands if you know what this week's book of the week is. Wealth Principle 48. Dorina, have you read the book? Can you pull it up real quick? Or do you just not know what book it is? Do you want me to reveal what the book of the week is?
Yes. What's the book of the week?
All right. So here's how we find the book of the week. First, we go to Alchemist Nation. If you haven't been for a little while, go to Alchemist Nation, slide over to the right, hit the 52 wealth principles. We're on wealth principle 48. So you slide down. By the way, you could click on any one of these principles and it will pull you to last year's lesson. It'll pull you to last year's lesson. You can actually rewatch last year. I've got a lot of people in the community who do this. And you could also click on the link and buy the book right there. So this week's book of the week, Wealth Principle 48, is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Now, who's read this week's book of the week? All right, Larry Steinhaus, can you give us a review of this week's book of the week? Awaken the Giant Within.
All right, I got to
Tony
be honest,
Robbins.
I haven't read it in 5 years. But my favorite part of that book continues to be the part when he's flying in the helicopter, getting to giving his presentation, and there's a massive traffic jam, and he looks down, he goes, I wonder what that massive traffic jam is for. And it turns out to be to his event. And that is what I'm looking for.
Let's give Larry Steinhaus a big round of applause. Awaken the Giant Within was massively encouraging for me. I did not know Tony Robbins prior to this book. Everybody told me about him. Everybody spoke about him. I had been very successful prior to Tony Robbins. And before I needed any of that woo-woo stuff, that mindset, oh, you say yes. And I was like, none of that nonsense. And then I was given the book because somebody said, stop being a fool and start making money. And I was like, dude, I make money. And he was like, stop making small money, start making real money. And so I read the book anyway, because this was a very smart man and he was giving me some very good advice. And I recognized that. And I said, you run a community and you haven't read this book. He's like, you're doing them a disservice because your mindset isn't right yet. He said, you got to go read this and awaken the giant within. And the story after story that Tony tells in this book really does make you aware of moments in life that you'll work so hard for. There's a moment, as story tells, where he had no money and he goes into this restaurant and he's got like change in his pocket, and he sees this child, and his child's got he's crying, and I guess it's his mother's birthday, and he wants to take his mother out for her birthday. And Tony reaches down, takes the change in his pocket and hands it to the child, and he sees the child smile. And in that moment, he knew he had absolutely nothing, but suddenly he felt okay. But the entire time he'd been stressed, worried about not having anything, worried. But in that moment where he literally had nothing, somehow, because of the way he'd given it away, he knew that money was coming in. He knew that he was going to find a way to make it work, because that child's pain and the opportunity for that child to have a great experience was more important to him to solve, to fix, than it was his own pain, his own problem. Show of hands if you've ever been there before. And do we still have Doug McGurk on? Where is he? There he is. Doug, you obviously worked with Tony for 3 years. So one, can we get our action steps for this week? And can you share a little bit about Awaken the Giant Within and some of the insights that you've gotten from Tony?
Absolutely. So great job, Walter. Larry, give me a hand. Come on. Very nice. Very nice. So Tony at his heart is a giant teddy bear. As successful as he is, he's a big kid at heart, and he's totally heart-centered. And while as successful as he is, he's done it, to your point, by helping others. And I think we must always keep that in mind, that this is a spiritual game, that we're all here serving God and God's creatures. And when we're living through that and coming from a place of true, authentic service, and we're going to be very successful as a byproduct, not the leading. And Tony would share that. One of the things that really inspired me with Tony quickly is the Basket Brigade, and how that started, where he grew up. He didn't have money, and a family came and brought a Thanksgiving dinner to his family, and his father resisted it. It was like, well, it wasn't his real dad, but the father at his time, like, basically he's like, we don't take handouts and all this, and freaked out. But in that moment, and this is when Tony was a kid, he realized that, wow, there are people that care. There are people that, can make a difference. And that's what started to set him off on ultimately his path, or one of the things. But one of the things that he shared is when he was not doing great, but he went out and he fed 2 families. He went out and he didn't have any money, really. He was struggling, but he's like, I still need to give back. And he fed 2 families. And then that's grown and grown and grown. And without getting to the whole story, but I'll just quickly share a personal anecdote with me. When I was at my bottom, I just gotten divorced. Many of you may or may not know, my first career was in the music industry, and the peak of my career was when Napster came out. So I went from winning Grammys to studios closing, record companies closing, having to reinvent myself. So I'm basically homeless, got no wife, got no prospects, don't know what I'm going to do. And what I did was, to start to happen over the summer, I put together a basket brigade, and I'd done them in the past, but in the past I was doing well. This, everything came down crashing. And so I started freaking out, and I'm like, well, I don't have any money. I'm like, oh, but I know people with money. So I went out and I raised some money and fed 55 families that year. But what's interesting is, and I'm only sharing this because it's really related to Tony, because during that time was when I was trying to get the gig with Tony, and I was finally got to my last time for the like one of the interviews to to kind of get to the next step. And like, oh, Tony's going to be at the Jacob Javits Center. Do you want to, go talk to Scotty and the other woman there and meet them to just like kind of get into the last stages of the gig? And so, yeah, so I get there and, saw Tony speak and all that. Then I went back to talk to when I saw them first, and like, hey, when Tony's done, do you want to meet Tony? Do you want to come backstage and meet him? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, but I can't, because tonight I'm picking up 55 frozen turkeys. After this, once I leave, I have to rush back before the store closes, because tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., I've got like 80 people coming over to put these baskets together and, to deliver. So interestingly, I don't even know if I ever told Tony that. I think they may have. We talked about other stuff, but it's so interesting how worlds sort of come full circle. And we should always be looking at all these opportunities, all of these challenges as either a story or something, because, you got Jen here, you've got a book in you, you've got a story to tell. And every experience that you've had is a powerful gift to share with someone else. And if you don't share your story, you're being stingy. That's all I got to say about that. You
Let's
muted.
give Doug McGurk a big round of applause. It's the truth.
And if you have time, I do have an induction. If
We got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes. Who here is ready for a quick action from Doug? We're gonna go deep into it, so we'll hit the subconscious mind. Those of you who are driving, keep driving, but keep your eyes open, eyes on the road. And those of you who are not driving, well, sit back, relax, and let's take some action based on today's principle of knowing thyself.
All right, I'll keep it quick. Assume you can hear the music? Yes. All right. So take a nice, big, deep, cleansing breath in. And relax. That's right. Now, as we're going to get into a rather quick state of relaxation, go ahead and feel your body sinking into your chair, relaxing even more. And imagine yourself at the base of a grand, ancient oak tree. And as you touch the bark, it's as though the tree whispers the secrets of time and wisdom into your very soul. And isn't that odd how God can speak through anything? With every moment, your feet feel even more rooted to the ground, like the tree itself. And these roots symbolize your deep connection to who you truly are in your relationship with God, with your higher power. I wonder if you can connect even more to God right now and say these affirmations aloud or quietly to yourself. I know myself and honor my unique qualities. My strategic alliances are an extension of my authenticity and my highest spiritual calling. I easily recognize the value and skills that others bring to our partnership. My business thrives through mutually beneficial relationships and connection to God. My business and life goals are an expression of my higher self. Now, picture a round table, and seated at it are your potential business partners. You feel a deep sense of trust and connection with them. Your golden light of authenticity and wisdom spreads across the table, illuminating everyone and creating a web of mutual interests and shared vision. Now imagine shaking hands, making deals, signing agreements, each one aligned with your true self and your highest spiritual calling and bringing mutual growth. As you prepare to awaken, feel the energy circulating through your body, through every cell. Becoming aware of your surroundings, your body touching the chair or your feet on the floor. And when I count back from 3, these post-hypnotic suggestions will anchor even deeper. 3, feel your confidence growing, trusting your ability to make aligned decisions, build a healthy team. 2, take a deep breath now, internalizing the knowledge and wisdom you've gained about yourself and your relationship with God. 1, open your eyes, feeling fresh, fully awake, fully present, ready to engage the world in a meaningful way. And remember that you are naturally gifted at creating strategic partnerships that are aligned with your authentic self and spiritual calling. And as each day passes, you will grow stronger and stronger. We're back.
Welcome back. Let's give Doug McGurk a big round of applause. That is a taste of what we have to experience at this year's 100 Millionaire Summit. We are 27 days away officially. This is a time now to get yourself together, organized, be reaching out, connecting. Facebook told me recently, it said yesterday, or this morning when I went in, I was on the treadmill and I was looking at my success rate on Facebook. It told me that I have not posted as much content in the last 7 days as I did in the previous 7 days. In fact, it gave me a percentage. It said you have posted 24% less in the last 7 days than the previous days. Show of hands if you've ever seen somebody make a mistake when they said they wouldn't, miss a goal, miss a target. I failed. I failed myself. And in a lot of ways, I failed you and I failed the people who don't know about me because of the 20% less people who saw my content. Facebook, underneath that statement that it gave me, the 24% less activity, it said, which means you received 20% less visibility on our platform. Show of hands if you acknowledge that not posting creates not giving, not helping others, not other people not knowing about you. In fact, I had not even known that there was an actual relationship. I thought I posted and things happen, and sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. Turns out that if I post 24% less content, I get 20% less opportunity to serve. Show of hands if you understand those numbers work for you too. You just don't know about it until now. Now it's conscionable. Now, if you're not posting at least one post a day, by the way, my stats are that I've posted 68 pieces of content in the last 28 days. That's what on Facebook alone, on that platform alone, 68 pieces of content in the last 28 days. Who here has posted a little bit less than me? Anybody? All of us, right? It's difficult to post at that level. That's almost 2 posts a day. That's almost 2 posts a day. It's a little more than 2 posts a day. So if you were to put out 1 post a day, you would still be getting more energy, more attention, more value in the marketplace than other people. And I'm going to give you something that's going to allow you a way to create a lot of content very easily and give something for free away to other people. Who would like to be able to give people a ticket to the 100 Millionaire Summit, a general ticket to the 100 Millionaire Summit? Excellent. We've got 27 days. Who would like to be able to give infinite amounts of tickets to the 100 Millionaire Summit to the right people, right people in your circle? Excellent. So that's something you can create content around, because it's not about getting a free ticket. It's about the report that you get when you fill out the Millionaire Path survey. When you fill out your Millionaire Path survey, you get a 3-page report that shows you how to be a millionaire. If you were on a path to become a millionaire, let's just pretend that somebody was looking to make an extra million or make their first million, then it's possible, it's perceivable that you may need help getting there. You may need a mortgage lender to lend you the loan. It could be a commercial lender or a residential lender. You don't know. It could be a private lender. And so you may need these people to be on the same path as you. Show of hands if they don't have to be a millionaire to help you out. They just have to have access to people who are wealthy. And then you may need some sellers, or you may need some realtors to bring you deals, or you may need some wholesalers to bring you deals. And they don't have to be millionaires either, do they? Show of hands if those people might want to become millionaires, though, if they may be interested in a path of their own. So one of the things that you could do is test out a couple of realtors, test out a couple of mortgage brokers, test out a couple of financial planners and say, hey, would you be interested in being a millionaire? If they say no, cool, move on. But if they say yes, well, here's your millionaire path report, and I'd like to get you a ticket to come with me, come with me to this event so that you and I can be something together. Maybe we can learn this thing together. By the way, look at your report, and afterwards, let's chat it up. Let's see if we can put a plan together. You don't have to wait to the summit, by the way, to put your plans together with your team. You can literally have them read their report and then decide to put a plan together before the summit gets there. Obviously, once you have everybody assembled and we're all at the summit together, it gives you a better opportunity to work together to build your plan over 3 days without distractions, without the family, without all the other things that could come into your way. But let's get back to the piece of content. The content that you could be putting out right now that will engage somebody else is shareable content. Shareable content is content that doesn't represent you. It represents your ideal person. It's something that they would share. Now, me and Andrew were having this great conversation about what makes my content shareable. What are some of the things that make people share my stuff? And I'm going to give you the secret to shareability. By the way, if somebody shares it, that means it's seen by all their friends too. Is that true? Does that exponentially increase your reach? With the same amount of effort to create a post that's shareable as it is to create a post that's engaging, same amount as it is to create a post that's fun or interesting that gets likes, or same amount that is a post that is shit, like all the realtors who post their MLS listings and nobody likes. Show of hands if you know, those are annoying as hell. Can't stand them, right? That's shit content. Likeable content is something that's you with your spouse doing something fun. People like that stuff. It's cool. Maybe even get some compliments or comments. Your birthday always gets a whole bunch of likes, and sometimes happy birthdays. Then you've got engaging content, which is questions. People asking questions. Hey, what do you like? Who thinks this is cool? What is interesting about this? And then the shareable content. Shareable content means something. It represents the person who shares it. So one of the posts that I've done, I love this post, it does so well, is if your friends don't pay you, they're not real friends. Every entrepreneur ever resonates with this. Every realtor who's their broker told them, call your sphere of influence, and then they're gonna send you business, and they call their sphere and nobody sent them business. Show of hands, we've had this. Every capital raiser, right? Like, call your friends, like ask them for money. It turns out like, what happened? My whole family, how does this not work? Am I the only one this isn't working for? And then you have to go back and you start learning these other strategies. So a person who's been in this business understands the concept or feeling around, like, man, if my friends don't do business with me, like they're not real friends. Who here loves doing business with the people they're doing business with? Are friends with the people they do business with? Like actually have friendship relationships? Yes. That's because like attracts like. So when a person when you post something like that, other people can see it and they can own it. And so it's just so easy just to share. Other things that get a lot of shares are things that are emotionally open. Like it's open. It's not about you. It's about the person who sees it, reads it, can make it about them. They can represent them in some way. They get some sort of social currency. They get something for sharing. So sometimes a post that is news related or information related will get a lot of shares because it's relevant. We call them relevant posts. Something that is news related or informative can be shareable as well. Sometimes it's information. It's throwing rocks at their enemies. Sometimes it's information that their enemy might not like. Like sometimes, by the way, business owners and entrepreneurs, their enemy is sometimes their spouse. Sometimes it's their family. Sometimes it's their friends. So the posts that are like, I can't go out on the weekends, I'm too busy at the bank making money, are posts that sometimes entrepreneurs will pick up and share all over the place. Show of hands if you know what I'm talking about. Seen some of them yourself, right? Like, yeah, all my friends asking me to go out and drink on Friday night while I'm out here showing a house or doing an insurance policy or locking down a deal or writing my next chapter of my next book or preparing myself for Saturday morning because, you know, Walter's going to be there and he's going to judge me if I don't show up. By the way, give yourselves a round of applause for showing up on time every single week. Applying these principles, right? Applying the work. So my suggestion is create and post something with the goal of shareability. Nobody nails it the first time. I've been aiming for shareability for years, and like only sometimes my posts hit shareability, although the better and better. And one of the tactics I use is I follow other people whose stuff I want to share. Things that make me want to share, I go and I tend to share. So follow things that have a lot of shares on them already. The report is out there. It's right there, public knowledge. 52 shares, that's something I'll probably grab. 5,000 shares, something I'm definitely grabbing. I don't know if it'll work on my audience, but it's worth a shot. Show of hands if you understand. We're catching this. All right, so I give you some value there. I want you to apply this. We've got 27 days. These are fun days. 27 days of not giving a shit what you do. 27 days of just posting, thinking about it, feeling it out, learning a little bit more about yourself, what makes you tick. I want you to very, very, very intently think about the enemy. I want you to focus on the enemy. By the way, as a human instinct, we always move faster when we're thinking about what could kill us versus how great life's going to be. So if you can think about the enemy, you're going to strengthen yourself. Show of hands, you found that to be true in yourself as well. I'm not the only one who has a good instinct for staying alive, right? All right. So there's really just one enemy out there. In a world where currency, the true currency now is attention, obscurity is the enemy. Obscurity, the fact that nobody knows who you are, the fact that nobody's sharing your shit, the fact that nobody's doing business with you, the fact that people don't understand your message, the fact you're too confusing, you're not simplified, people can't just like bite-sized memory stays in there forever. That's the person, that's the gal, that's the guy who does the thing that I want, that when I need it, or I can refer it out. So the idea is you want to be hyper laser simple to remember to a human being. Show of hands if you understand. Confused mind says no. Confused mind says no. We want to be clear. We want to be concise. And so in order to be known, to kill the enemy, you need a sharp weapon, right? If the enemy is obscurity, then the ally is your clarity. It is your hyper-focused approach of helping people. What we use live events, right? Instead of me saying, I'm going to buy your house, or I want to raise capital from you, or I want to do a deal with you, I'll say, let's go to this event together. Let's learn a thing together. Let's go connect with some human beings together. So we use the local live events. I know Larry does this with investor schooling. He has a local live event that he runs. I know that Dina does this with Orlando. She has the Business Real Estate Professionals Network of Orlando. I know Gary Aker does this with the multifamily network of Tampa, Mint. I know that each one of you who's running events has a lead magnet, a thing you can invite people to, a thing that you can draw an audience into to deliver value. Here's what happens. Who's heard of Stockholm Syndrome? Anybody heard of Stockholm Syndrome? It's a bad thing, isn't it? Somebody who could be a victim of a bad experience can fall in love with the person who was abusing them. Has anybody ever experienced that themselves? Here's how it works on the positive. Somebody who goes to enough events with the same person will eventually just do business with that person. So I've seen that to be true. You go to enough networking events, you see the same attorney over and over. You're like, that's my attorney. That's the guy I close with. That's my real estate agent. They represent everybody. So this is your superpower, to be focused and be the person who runs these events. Don't be the realtor. Don't be the mortgage broker. Don't be the investor. Be the community leader, or be the networker, be the person known for knowing when the events are happening. If they see you at every single event, you're the one that they're going to do business with. You're the super networker who has a product. Maybe you're the realtor, maybe you're an investor, maybe you're a wholesaler. You have the product in the back end. Maybe you're a mortgage broker, a financial planner, or an attorney. Everybody who sees you at all the networking events hears that about you. But getting them to the networking event, that's what locks you into their memory as a useful asset. They can text you. They can text Deborah and be like, Deborah, what's going on this week? Like, what's the event that's happening this week? Because they know she's going to be at every single networking event. Show of hands if you've ever used somebody like this before. They're your go-to person for what happens on Friday night. Remember being a teen? There's always that one person who knows what's happening on Friday night, knows what's going on. Well, in the professional world, we have that. I was always that guy. Dorina was always that person. Show of hands if you've also been that way in your life. You're the go-to person where people are like, man, what's going on? What's the thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? You can be that simply by sending out a message and inviting people. It creates that awareness that you're the go-to person. When you're the go-to person, you can move people to do business with you because they see you enough, they know, like, and trust you. Show of hands if you're a likable person, if you're a good person, you do all the deals morally, ethically, legal, then all the secret is to get them around you a little bit more often. I don't care if it's your event. I don't care if it's somebody else's event. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you pay 20. I do this with Grant Cardone, right? All the people who go to Grant with me, we're spending more time together. All the diamond tickets, all the follow-up I'm doing with them afterwards, because they spent that time with me. Now we have an opportunity together. So fans, you can do this also. Know thyself and find the people who have the opposite skills. You're not looking for people just like you. I promise. I promise. You're looking for the people who complement you. You're looking to compliment people. If you surround yourself with a bunch of people just like you, one, very narcissistic. No problem with it. I don't shame you. I just know that you're going to have a lot of problems because there's a lot of people with the same skill set. They're going to be trying to eat the same meal that you're trying to eat. It's like a bunch of jackals around the same kill. But if you can surround yourself, if you can be the jackal surrounded in a bunch of sheep, right? Or if you can be the sheep surrounded in a big field of oat and wheat, then you're probably going to get to eat pretty often. Show of hands, this makes sense. Right? If you the jackal that eats all the sheep, then you're not going to be able to eat. So you got to keep them alive. You got to help them multiply. It's okay to have a little bit here and there. Probably not the best example. Let me go back to the wheat field. Here's the deal. You're a lion, you got to eat, right? You're out there hunting. There's no getting around it. Each one of you has a big heart. You're not going to kill the people that are working with you. It's not like that. It's more like a wheat field, but they're going to keep growing back. They're going to keep planting more seeds. So fans are committed to making sure everybody around you wins. Right? In the world of business, everybody can both feed a person and survive and live. And the key to doing that is coming from the heart. It's connecting people, pulling them in. We're going to open up to Q&A. I don't have anything after this, so we may run a little bit later than normal. And anybody who needs to jump off and go do your showings, to go call your family, to go make your Facebook post, to do whatever you're doing to get more attention. By the way, the enemy is the fact that nobody knows who you are. And if they don't know you, they can't cash flow you. It's not about who you know. Don't let that bullshit, seep into your mind. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you and what they know you for. So if everybody's got to jump off, by all means, you're going with our blessing. I can't wait to see you in 27 days. Get as many people in your pocket to know about your millionaire path and get to the summit with you. Because when they're there, that's where the transformation occurs. Cheers to your success. And for everybody else, let's jump into a Q&A session. Stephen Beaver, let's run this, baby. Let's give Larry Steinhaus, all the coaches, Doug McGurk, everybody who might be jumping, a big round of applause for all the work they do. I know the talks are coming. I know the PowerPoints are coming. I know the workbook is being put together. Let's give Dorena a big round of applause. She's working hard on the workbook. The VIP tickets. Again, I was told the coaches are out there reaching out to people. If the coach has said you need VIP, my suggestion is get the VIP. If you can't afford the $1,000, you got bigger problems. And we're going to fix, if you can't afford the extra $2,500, you got bigger problems. The VIP day, you're getting a day with me. There's only 25 people in that room on VIP day. That's Thursday. If you can't afford it, man, set the goal. Your life is pretty bad. Your life is pretty messed up if you can't afford the VIP ticket. I put it so affordable so that the people who wanted it could get there. So if you're having a hard time putting this thing on a credit card, if you're having a hard time, if you're that tight with finances, man, I am sending prayers for you. I want you on the 52 weeks every single week. I want you taking every single course in Alchemistation, everything that is free. I want you reading my books twice. I want you reading the Foundational 5. I want you to go through every single one of the Foundational 5 books. Please, please, if $2,500 is a challenge for you right now, we got bigger problems. We can't ignore them. We have to look at the challenge. We have to look at the money. We have to go get the money. Show of hands if you understand. I don't care if you're the one who pays for the ticket at the VIP. I will sell those, no problem. Dean already sold 2 this week. It's not an issue. But it's what it says about you and your ability, your capacity to pay for a great opportunity to be in a room of other people who paid that level to be at that space all by themselves with the champions. Show of hands if that makes sense. So if VIP tickets, paying for them is a challenge for you, look at the challenge, solve the challenge. Now, I'm not saying go buy something you can't afford. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is look at it as an opportunity to become a bigger person, as an opportunity to get into something that will serve you at a higher level. Because the VIP day, we're going to scale. We're in that room talking about scale. That's what we're doing for a full day. We're going to look at each person's business and talk about how we're going to scale that business. And then throughout the whole weekend, the VIPs are sitting together. We're eating together. We're sitting in the front row together. Show fans to understand the VIPs are getting super tight over the weekend. Absolutely. It's a very intentional group. So VIP tickets, yes, they get cool swag. They get the sweet hat. Yeah, but that's not what it's about. It's not about the hat. It's not about the land. It's not about the front row. It's not about that lunch with all the coaches. It's not about the little what is it? We have the Lambo, the limousine. It's not about the limousine bringing us from the hotel to the dinner place. All right, it's not about the free food or the pictures or the videos or the fact that you get a picture with my $1 million. It's not sitting with $1 million, to have that image in your phone every day when you look up that you had $1 million in your hands. So fans, you understand that's a nice vision, but it's a nice vision board, but it's not the reason people buy VIP. People buy VIP because they like hanging out with people who also believe that they're very important people. So for those people, I understand. I get what you're talking about. I understand. Like, go drop the money. Same thing we do every single year. We pay for the biggest, most expensive tickets to hang out with the most important people at other events. And I understand that you do the same thing because you're very important people. If it's the first year we've done it, I'll tell you it's a cool experience. It's super wild to be a VIP. I got to be, what does Russell Brunson call his? Is it like super extra deluxe something? I know Grant Cardone's diamond. We were at Funnel Hackers last year. We were VIPs of Funnel Hackers, and we were VIPs at Flip Hacking Live with Bill Allen. Just the experience is just different. It's just different. You get the extras. You get to meet all the high level players. So for our coaches who are offering that VIP experience to the people who they think is right on the calls, let's give our coaches a big round of applause for taking the time to analyze and listen to a person and see what their goals are. And for those who didn't get offered the VIP, I'm sorry, like, work on it. Go work on your shit. Like, take whatever tips the coach gave you and focus on your income. Focus on loving yourself more. Like my brother had to learn, focus on receiving more, focus on help. I think everyone who's helped more people, I think you just got to focus on allowing a little bit allowing a pathway to receive the money. I know the affiliate program will be releasing soon. So that gives you one more stream of income to allow money into your space. If you're already helping, if you're already running our events, I'm praying for you. I really want to see you be successful. So for those who are having financial trouble, it's temporary, right? Broke is temporary. Poor is a mindset. I can't fix that, but broke is temporary. That's why the first book was Broke to $250,000, because I knew that was temporary. I knew where I was going. And after the $250,000, hit the million, hit the multi-millions. Now we're just rock and roll and helping more people at this level. So let's open up to Q&A. That was a long way to say VIP rocks.
Hey, before we go to Q&A, Walter, do you mind if I give them a couple of hacks how to be extremely 2 to 3 times more successful at the summit?
So everybody knows Steven is an efficiency coach. I get asked this a lot, like, what's the difference with all these different coaches? Larry is a real estate coach, very specific, teaches how to buy a house with no money down or leverage properties. You got Billy is more of a mindset coach, success coach. You got Doug is a personal speaking trainer, teaches people how to speak, NLP. There's a lot of different tactics that coach does with emotional energy so you can be more powerful and take more action. Steven is an efficiency coach. So when Steven sets something up, it's, what is the goal you want? Here's the tactical results you must take in order to get it. Show fans, we understand lots of different coaches, lots of different ways of looking at problems. Cool. With that framework, go ahead, Steven.
All right. Well, first, quick question. Raise your hand if you've done the Millionaire Path Report. Awesome. And raise your hand if you've done the strategy session. Awesome. Raise your hand if you have a deal that you want somebody to help you with. All right, great. All right. 3 things. Bring your Millionaire Path Report with you to the summit. Bring your strategy session with the summit, because we're going to be focused on you. And these 2 things here are extremely focused on you. And if you have a pitch deck, there might be somebody there that might want to see it. You could just link it to them, right? You're there for a purpose, right? The purpose is to grow. So what better way to grow than with the Millionaire Path Report, your strategy session, and whatever it is that you're wanting to do. By the way, yes, I will have all 3 of those with me. So if you guys want to see what I'm doing, you'll have to come and talk to me, because that's the only way you're going to get to do it, because I make relationships. So
that is so smart. I think Larry already sees, he's like, I'm going to tell everybody my goal this year. Every one of us is like, how are you? We're going to do it from stage. This is my goal, by the way. Help me however you'd like.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so I don't know if I should tell them what my talk is about. You know what? You should be able to figure it out. I will give you this. When I come on stage, my song will be Paula Abdul's Opposites Attract. And I'll show you how to be efficient with that. So, all right. So who out there has seen somebody, knows someone, maybe a family member, maybe a friend or a stranger, that you're like, gosh, I wish I could help them. I wish I could help them be more efficient. Lou, who, what, and what was it?
It's a doctor friend of mine who husband is fighting child trafficking, was fighting child trafficking, and he was murdered. And God's put her in my path to help restore this woman. They took everything from her. They took her husband. She, and this took place in Hawaii. Yeah, she's a courageous woman.
What would you like to be able to do to help her?
To restore her clinic in Hawaii. As I
Okay.
say, they took everything from her.
Does she want that?
She does badly.
Okay, it's going to sound like I'm selling because I am, because I believe in what I'm selling. Have her do the Millionaire Path Report and go through a strategy session. Then, after she's done that, then you two sit down and look at the Millionaire Path Report and the strategy session. And now you've done it, right? You've done both?
I haven't completed.
Got to complete it. When you do it, you'll see, oh my gosh, now I have a clear path. It's been updated. Walter had some amazing stuff on it. I've done a little bit extra, and so that's why you have to do both, a Millionaire Path, and then you do a strategy session with a Millionaire Path consultant, and they help you figure out where you're going, how to get there, the quickest and fastest way. So, and that will help her, because that will help her focus in, and she'll see a light at the end of the tunnel. And you'll be able to see how your programs and everything that you, and all that vast knowledge that you have will be able to help her. But right now you're a ship, you both are ships, and you've got no destination. You're going full steam. You've got a well-oiled machine, but you got no destination of how to get there. So that's what I would definitely go down that road. I hope that helps.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Lou is a VIP. Am I right?
is a
I think I
VIP.
saw that name come across my charts.
Yes, he is. And he has done the strategy session.
Oh, yeah.
You've done it. You did it with Brian Schilling. I've got your copy. We'll get it.
Make sure he gets his copy again, because you should get your copy of your strategy session and your Millionaire Path Report.
And I'll help you work with the doctor if you need me to, Lou. Okay?
Thanks, Tina.
No problem.
Anybody else have any other friends, family members out there, strangers, or somebody that you've seen and you're like, gosh, what could we do? Deborah helps a lot of people.
Who here has used Disc before? Anybody use Disc?
I do a little bit.
Unmute your mic and share what was your biggest takeaway from Disc.
I'm a very big D.
And that came as a shock to you, huh?
100. I rated 100 D. He's never seen it before, and 0 C. So when I'm in a room with somebody who's a C, I want to pull my hair out of my head.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But Larry, when
there
you
you
and
are.
I sit down and we look at your funnels, how does it feel though? You don't feel like you're talking to a C all the way, right?
So I mean that's why I don't write my own funnels. That's why I have other people write them, because I can't, my funnels would say, "Get the fuck in my class and learn something, damn it." Where other people would say, "Hey, investor schooling, you'll learn how to buy properties with no money and and
Buy
no
now or
credit."
get out. Get in or get out. Whatever.
Doug, how could you be 100 I and 100 D?
So
That's how
Pretty impressive.
I am 80, 80, 80 IDC.
Yeah, it's not percentage for the 4. It is where are you on the scale for each. Yeah,
I know. I'm just like blown away that you could be 100 D and 100 I.
So my natural is
Doug is.
I, and my adaptive is D, and I become a big D. So I don't let my D out much, because I end up not, well,
Yeah, I'm very upset that you're a bigger D than me.
I only
Actually, I
can
guess we're
be.
equal D. I guess we're
Yeah,
equal D.
I just can be.
Yes.
So who else is taking disc? Show
Why
hands
are
for
we
taking
comparing
disc.
D sizes? I just didn't know.
And who's not an I or a D who'd like to share? Because obviously the DIs share first, right? Go ahead, Julie.
Right.
I am a big C and a small S. And it's reflecting in the sense that my business is flat in terms of revenue growth because I don't have that high D that does sales and marketing and because I don't. It's not my
Hire a
strength,
D. Hire a
right?
D.
Are you going to the summit?
Yes.
Walter, I'm following Vinny, right? He's first, I'm second.
That is correct.
Okay. Do not miss Vinny or me, because that'll set the tone for the whole summit. And those three things that you've done the Millionaire Path report and the strategy session, right? Do all three of those things. Anything that you want to talk to somebody, but bring it there. Be prepared, and you'll see that will change after Vinny and I. You will. This is what you'll say, because I know Vinny. I know what he's doing, and I think I know what I'm doing. You'll say, "Shit, excuse my language. I could leave right now, and I got more than my money's worth." Don't. But you could.
I'm just realizing I'm gonna move Steven to day 3 now.
Well, they need it on day. They need it on day 1. You could do on day. You could do both, I guess. But anyway, but yeah, no, awesome, because you're going to be. Anyway. I'm not going to go any. My monkey brain is about to go off, and so I'm not going to do
So
that.
Julie, what I will say is, you're a bookkeeper. Everybody in Alchemist Nation needs a bookkeeper. And so as a bookkeeper who's a high C, it probably would make sense to come to the summit with something of value to hand our community or text our community as they're running into these types of challenges. I know Juan is the same thing. Juan is also a bookkeeper. I'm giving him the same advice as I'm giving it to you, is show up with some sort of value to differentiate yourself from the other bookkeepers. And maybe you and Juan might want to work together because you both have different skill sets, I'm sure. So it might be a really good conversation to jump on with each other. Same with Neil McSpadden, who runs an accounting practice. And we got another gentleman, Eric, who runs an accounting practice. So you may be able to jump into these two very successful businesses as bookkeeping services. Again, it ties into today's principle of know thyself and apply it to other strategic partners, right? Using self, and all will be at the summit. So my suggestion is reach out before the summit so you have something scheduled to have lunch with at the summit. Show fans for catching how we use this event. Awesome. Cool.
I got to put her on the spot. Julie, am I going to be sitting next to you?
I think she knows.
Julie.
I don't know if she knows.
I want to sit far away from Steven. He
It-
clashes with my
it
outfits.
won't happen. I'll be right there by
He
you.
clashes with my outfits.
Between you and no, we complement each other. What are you talking about? Look at those two guys. Oh my gosh, they must know what they're doing. Look how they're dressing. Or the other half is going to go, oh my gosh, look at those guys. They don't know what the heck they're doing. Look how they're dressing. Either way,
Should I wear that? Should I wear that suit?
you wear your best of your
Well, this-
best.
This one says "Become the Rich." I took that from AOC when she were, tax the rich. I changed mine to "Become the Rich."
Right on, right on.
Ah, I like that.
Julie,
I couldn't find the mute button. Sorry.
That's okay. Am I going to be sitting next to you?
More than likely, no, because I know you're going to say you're in the VIP. I haven't made that commitment yet.
If I gave you my phone number, would you Zoom with me today?
Yeah, we had actually tried to connect before, but it never went through. So yeah, let's try it again.
I'm gonna send
Ooh,
you-
let's not try it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Like Yoda.
I can
Yoda
play
says,
Steve
there is
Harvey
no
say try.
try. There is only do. Let's give Stephen Beer a big round of applause. Julie, a round of applause. each one of you does have a gift. Each one of you has strengths. My suggestion is to go and take some of, or all of, or the rest of those personality tests that you haven't taken so far. My suggestion then is to share a little bit about who you're looking for. Don't share about yourself. Nobody cares about you. I know this is sad to hear, but you've probably made posts about yourself on social media and nobody responds, likes, or does anything. So what you could try to do is, hey, these are the types of people I'm looking for. These would be the strengths or the identifiers that would make them valuable to me, and start talking about those people and the challenges they're facing, because then it will start attracting them to you. When you talk about other people, you attract other people. When you talk about yourself, you attract yourself. Show of hands if we're tired of us. We got enough of us already. So the goal is now to get more of the other person, create shareable content. The easiest way to create shareable content is content that speaks to them, speaks to your ideal client, speaks to your ideal partnerships, or speaks to your ideal people you could hire. That is your challenge, is to go out this week and really just create a post every single day, whether it's video, picture, text, and get closer to attracting people who are opposite of you. In order to do that, first, you must know who you are, know thyself, use the power of assessments to figure out what you are. DISC is one we'll be talking about actively live at the summit. So it'll help to have that base again inside of you so you can leverage it. But also the MBTI is really good for you personally. A little harder to use that in real life, the big five, but the love languages, the 5 love languages, is very, very applicable in the summit, in your business, everywhere you go. One of the reasons we give you gifts is because some of your love language is gifts. Some of the reason that we spend quality time together, like on these Zooms or at the 100 Millionaire Summit, the reason we spend the lunch and the dinners together is because quality time is your love language. The reason we build the business plan with you, we take the action steps with you, is because some of you, your love language is acts of service, doing and taking action. The reason you'll get a lot of high fives from me and the rest of the community, and hugs and fist bumps at the summit, is because, physical touch, contact, kinetics is some of your love language. Show of hands if you understand. The reason I give you compliments is because some of you are words of affirmation. And so it's really important that I acknowledge the things that you're good at, including showing up to this call every week, including serving more people, including wearing our brand, doing the things that help other people, running events, being at events. That's right. So everybody who's worn our shirt ever, let's give you a big round of applause. You're letting people know what we do, that you're an alchemist, that you're helping transform yourself so you can transform others. Every single thing that we do is to help you level up. If we have failed in any way, please communicate that to us. We are constantly improving. And if there's something we are doing that you are liking, please let us know also so we can do more of it. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. We got 27 days to the summit. There's plenty of room at the top. I'll see you there.
Julie, click on that link. It's my personal Zoom.
Click on that link.
It's just knock it out today.
Share this call with somebody, like, share, subscribe, all the calls to action. Let's give Andrew a round of applause for building the new website up. There's a lot of work there. Billy, Dina, Victor, Larry, Todd, Michelle, Justin, Doug, Andrew, Steven, Brian, Julie, Lou, Jennifer, Ron, Juan, Ken. Man, thank you for having your cameras on. It makes this call so much more fun. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Best.
And Tom Osbeck.